Straw Hut Media.
Welcome to Ask Me Anything, a beacon of spiritual exploration hosted by celebrated mediums Kellee White and James Van Praagh. From the mysteries of astrological aspects to the depths of personal growth, no topic is off limits. Your questions light the path as we navigate the intricacies of our spiritual existence together. So, are you ready to delve deeper?
Hi there, everybody. I am spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White, and welcome to Ask Me Anything. And by the way, thank you everybody for such wonderful birthday wishes and messages. And I read every single one of them. And thank you so much. I haven't had a moment to respond to anybody, but thank you so much. It really meant so much to me. And I don't know about you guys, but that this energy is unbelievable. And I'm going to talk about the energy in a few minutes. But this has been an unbelievable time for me personally. And I always like to share some of my personal life so you'll understand what's going on behind the scenes here. So we started a full home remodel of our house. Now, this was supposed to have begun in actually March 15th of 2020. So for reasons, obviously COVID, we had to postpone it. And then the people that we couldn't get them until about this period of time. So we started on Tuesday with our full remodel. And I mean full remodel, knocking out windows and moving fireplaces and moving areas of the house. And I mean, just this massive, massive change. And then the next day, yesterday, which was my birthday, I started my work. Instead of coming to this office, my home office, which I love, I have now rented a space. I only work usually 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and occasionally I'll work on a Saturday, which I do have one Saturday coming up, October 14th, the day of the eclipse. So if you wanted a Saturday appointment, I just opened that up for people that can only see me on a Saturday. But I found a space in the small town I live in, and I rented a space and set up an office there. So I am now taking the dogs early in the morning because we have two big dogs, taking them to daycare because they can't be here during the remodel, and then running to my office and setting up the energy there. And then after the end of my day, going back, picking up my dogs, driving down the country roads, coming back home, and this is like a muscle that I haven't used in a long time. When I was a young mother, I would take my daughter to school, pick her up, work, do all of this stuff. Didn't faze me. And when I lived in Los Angeles, I would actually drive 2 hours each way. So I drove 4 hours to drive, which should have been like a 20-minute drive. Traffic was so bad in LA to my office. So back and forth. So I had the muscle to do that. But in 4 years, I've been working out of my home. I go make myself a cup of tea. I go do whatever. I walk out, look at the cows. That's gone for a year. So it's been a whole completely different change for me. And I have to share this with you too, because this was unbelievable. We had Julianne Siegel on, and she does feng shui. And I felt the oddest energy in my mind while we were doing the show. It felt like there was a time warp, and time had speeded up somehow. And I just couldn't believe that it was 9:00 my time, Central Time, and the show was over. Like, it just didn't make sense because the time went so fast. And I kept saying, this doesn't make sense. And after we finished the show, I was talking to Renee, and James had to go because he actually had a dinner he had to go to. And I was like, what's going on with this energy? And I couldn't figure it out. And I couldn't figure out why I felt this intense energy coming at me. Couldn't figure it out. I don't know how I missed this, but I think because there's so much change going on in my house, the movers had taken my giant crystals. So I have giant crystals that I've kept on the fireplace in the living room. And it holds the space. And I love my crystals. And I have these 4 really magnificent, really large crystals. And because the fireplace no longer exists, it will be moved to another wall, and everything is, coming out and down. The movers moved these four giant crystals, and I mean quartz, and one of them is a red calcite, but really huge, huge boulders of crystals. They moved them underneath my desk here in the office because there was no safe place to put them during this complete construction going on. So they put them under my desk. And I'm going to tell you, the energy in this room was unbelievable. But in my mind, I had spaced that because I was so spaced from all these crystals. So crystal energy is a real thing. And if you're sensitive, in fact, you may not even know that crystals are in a room, and all of a sudden you might start to feel better, or the opposite, you could feel it's almost too much for you. Because a few years ago, well, several years ago, maybe 18 years ago or 15 or 18 years ago, I was in Los Angeles, and my dear friend Charlene, so if you're watching, Charlene, hello, and I went to a crystal distribution place where these crystals had come from Brazil, and we were so excited to see all these crystals. And it was one room of nothing but amethyst and another room of nothing but quartz. And I walked in, and I was there for about 15 minutes, the max. And I said to my friend Charlene, I said, I'm spinning. I have to go. I'm sick. And I ran out, and I was really sick. Actually, I was throwing up outside. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. And what had happened is the energies of these crystals, I wasn't prepared for that energy. And I did go back a couple of years later when I was extremely grounded in my energy, and I could go in understanding the energies of what was happening. So crystals are a real thing, and energy is a real thing with crystals. So just wanted to let everybody know that if they've had any experience with crystals, I'd love to hear about it. But crystals are a real big thing. So anyway, and my crystals are still here. I haven't moved them yet because they're too big to move. So we'll be moving those. So, and I wanted to talk about the astrology, and we're going to talk about astrology, but also I wanted to talk about, I'm curious because I'm getting used to a new normal right now and adjusting to my new normal. And I'm wondering, I think James and I'll probably do a show on how to adjust to your new normal, because I feel that the energies in the next few days are going to be very intense. And I think that people's lives are changing. They're starting something new, or they're moving, or somebody has passed away, or they've just gotten married, or some big ticket items I feel are going to happen with people. And I thought this was a really interesting thing to talk about, because on Saturday we have autumn begins on Saturday. And so in Vedic astrology, we call it an annual revival of the spirit, actually. And it's during this time period of when we go into this in autumn, when we go into the equinox. It's a real time to go slowly inward. Okay. And what they believe about it, as they say this, as the natural world begins to let go and draw within, we also need to take time for our inner reflection and healing in order to restore balance in our lives. And so this is why the autumn and the spring equinoxes are really important as spiritual traditions. And because what they believe is, as Mother Earth reboots her energy system during these equinoxes, it's a temporary period of destabilization. And I can tell you it's happening here. I can feel it. You feel discombobulated is the word that I've been using, but I have all these things going on, right? But this destabilization is within. And so the best thing to do about this equinox that we're going into just in 2 days is to have it use this 3-day energy. They call it from September 22nd, which is tomorrow, into the 24th, which is Sunday. So Friday to Sunday over the weekend. Use this energy to harmonize, to rejuvenate, and to strengthen your mind, body, and spirit. Okay. And what they believe in Vedic tradition is that you avoid beginning any new action. It's funny, but I just started a whole bunch of new things, and I can tell you, it's not an easy thing during this period of time to almost go against the energy, because the energy is saying, please go inward, harmonize, rejuvenate, and strengthen your mind, body, and soul. And it actually, in Vedic astrology, they believe that starting something new or starting a new adventure is not the time to do it. And they say it's because the sun is the soul of the world, and that the vitality of everything in life and everything, it needs to be strong when we set something new into motion. And the sun will be in a stronger place in these next, after the, I'd say on the 25th would probably be a good time to do that. But this time is really good for going inward and reflection and grounding practices. So practice being grounded, which could be going out in nature. Again, walking it without your shoes is a good one, but it is going to start to get a little cooler for some of us. But walking out in nature, being really conscious of where you are and what you're doing, start to become very conscious of that and get really grounded. It's a great time for that. So that's what's going on in the next few days. And on top of that, astrologically, tomorrow, the moon in Vedic astrology moves into Sagittarius, and it goes Gandanta and with Uranus. And that's a very tough time. In these next few days, the reason it's good to go inward for the next few days is because these are very critically intense days. So a lot of you, are energy sensitive. You're probably feeling some things, because this tomorrow makes people either uneasy or they get angry or there's a lot of hostility in the air. And so again, great day to go in, have a cup of chai tea. That's what I do. I'm really into this chai tea now. And then on the 23rd, also, it's a critical day because Mars squares the moon is probably the easiest thing to say it that way. And when Mars squares the moon, it causes a lot of insecurity, and it could come with a lot of drama to it. And that's Saturday. And then on Sunday, again, these are the best days, if you can, to go inward and just take really good care of yourself. Because also on the 24th, that's another critical day. And the moon conjuncts Pluto, which is in the United States natal chart. So that's a very tough day as well. So these are some, radical days, the next few days. So again, best if you can to go inward, do some inward, meditations, some yoga practices, set the energy for this new period of time that we're in, which is this vernal equinox in the Western, or spring equinox if you're in Australia. So think like in those terms, okay? So anyway, there you go. I had to say all of that because I had a lot to say. And I have a lot of questions, and I appreciate your questions, and we'll answer as many as I can get to. And let's see, Miranda Constantine, she says, "Hi, Kellee. I hope you're over COVID." I am definitely over COVID. I still have that lingering oddball cough that comes out. She said, I wanted to ask you if I have a male brain, which I love this question because your birthday is April 1st. So April 1st is absolutely a 7 of spades, and a 7 of spades, I feel, is much more of a male brain than a female brain. What do I mean by that? A 7 of spades, they know so much information. Not that females don't, they do, believe me. But there's something about the way a 7 of spades expresses themselves almost in a male fashion. Like they just say it, they think it just comes out. So yeah, I would say definitely, Miranda, you have a male brain there. Bernadette Desir, she says, "Hi, Kellee. Thanks for all you do." You're so welcome. "Can you please talk about why the soul chooses to suffer as a lesson? I'll never understand why I chose to suffer and be in this much pain." So, suffering is it's a great question. So I guess the soul would ask you, why are you suffering? What are you suffering? When we suffer, we're learning something. What are you learning, Bernadette? Are you learning about yourself? Are you learning about your needs? Are you learning about people in your life that you need to let go of? What is causing the suffering? Because they would say suffering is an illusion and to move past it. So, think about in your life? I know you must have the answer of what is happening in your life that you um, need that you need to have growth from, which would be either letting go of certain people or making different changes. Because that's what the suffering is here to tell you. It's giving you a message. So I hope that answers the question there. So, and this was a question from, hold on a second, let me get this question. This is a question from, and I love this question, from Carrie and Rick East. Hi, Carrie and Rick. I hope you guys are doing well. You asked if I had a peaceful birthday celebration yesterday. Well, let's see. House was torn up. Don bought me this beautiful Larimar necklace, which I just love, and beautiful flowers. And it was just wonderful to be home with him, frankly. It was great. So from that standpoint, yes. So here's your question. She says, do spirits sleep, or do they have a need to rest? She said, even though humans need sleep for our bodies, I'm wondering if spirits need some form of rest too. She said, doesn't energy need to be replenished? Or like a star, wouldn't it burn out at some point? How do spirits rest, sleep, and stay strong in spirit form? First of all, great, great, great question. Thank you, Carrie. I love this question. So we have a body here, right, on Earth. So we do need, it's mind, body, and soul. I was talking about that with a client today. It's mind, body, and soul. So you have to take care of your body because there's only so much energy, right? You'll get drained. So you've got to replenish your energy on Earth. Here's the thing on the other side. When you first arrive there, and I can kind of talk about it from that, when you first arrive, there's most souls, and I can't say every soul. Some souls are probably like, woohoo, let's go. But there are many that have had either some traumas or just fatigue from their life here, where even though they don't have a body on that side, they need to rejuvenate. And there's a time period where they will rejuvenate, and they might meet with old, family members or loved ones. But then there's a time where they go for deep reflection. I had an experience with, sounds like the oddest thing I'm going to say, but the archangels, and they told me that, and they showed me a place where they even go to rejuvenate and replenish their energies. And so I believe on the other side, that's what we do. I think we take time for reflection. We take time to rejuvenate and replenish. And so does a soul on that side sleep? It's a very good question. I think, again, if they've just come back from this earth journey, or perhaps another journey, but earth journeys seem to be pretty rough. They're tough. It's tough to come to earth. And so many of them, from what I understand, will take their time to replenish, to just replenish their energy. And so I hope that answers the question. And then ultimately, you can zip around, and once you get replenished, you can zip around, which also means, let's say you zip around from this place to that place, and you're learning, and you're with your loved one, and you're doing all this. There still may be time, of course, where you're going to want to take reflection and deep thought, because the other thing is sometimes, and this isn't always the case, but maybe you want to come back to earth, or maybe you need to come back to earth. Not everybody, and you know who I'm talking to, but there will be souls that will need to come back and finish what they started. So maybe they'll take time in between, to reflect on. So I hope that answers the question here. Sarah Stone. Hi, Sarah. She said, can I get a reading for my son, Skylar? He just started back at school in person. I want to know how he will do. He's autistic. I'd be grateful for any insights. His birthday is May 22nd. Okay, so wow. Well, good for him that he started back to school in person. And May 22nd, I don't know how old he is, but May 22nd is a 10 of clubs. So let me just say this. He'll do great in school. 10 of clubs, They inhale information and they're wildly psychic. So make sure that we call them, they have a brain that has a brain. Like they have so much brain in there that they're so creative and figure out this. And they love school. Traditionally, they do think out of the box, but I think he's going to enjoy it very much. He's going to do just great for that. Okay. So don't even worry about a thing. JP6 Blue. Kellee, this is Randy, and I'm a Cancer, born July 2nd. You see, in Vedic astrology, we'd say you're a Gemini. Looking forward to your session. But July 2nd is a King of Diamonds. And a King of Diamonds, and I'm not sure if you're a male or female, because I have friends named Randy that are female and male. So, but this is a male placement. So if you're a male, you've got a male brain there, King of Diamonds. And if you're a female, you have a male brain, King of Diamonds. King of Diamonds is about finance, creativity. They can figure out anything, and they have to watch certain things. For instance, like we call it the one-eyed king. They're the ones that may miss something because they're blinded by the only thing that the one thought. And so you want to watch everything with the King of Diamonds. Whenever I have them, I always say, make sure you see the whole picture, not just what you want to see, not a myopic. Okay. I hope that's going well. So let's see. Oh, and this is from Joni Gibson. Hi, Joni Dwayne Gibson. She said, thank you, Kellee. I feel as though my gifts have leaned more towards healing. Any insight? Yes. And your birthday is March 5th. So if you were born on March 5th, that makes you a 5 of spades. So if you ever hear me talk about 5 of spades, they are the healers. They're the ones that will have every experience, and good, bad, it almost doesn't matter. They come to have experience. And the reason they do is so they can heal themselves and heal others. So you come, definitely, Joni, I would say you are definitely a healer here. Definitely, I would say that. And this is from Rome Balenciaga. Hi, Rome. I love that name. She says, my birthday is March 27th. So that makes you, if you were born on March 27th, that makes you a 9 of clubs. 9 of clubs comes to complete something. And she said, I'm recently deciding to switch careers. Life seems to be taking me in a new direction, and I'm just surrendering to it and just hoping everything will work out best for me. Can you tell me anything about that? Absolutely. So 9 of clubs always comes to a place, usually later in life, late 50s, 60s, could be anywhere in that period of time, but they always come to switch careers because they would have completed something and they're ready to take on something else. So I'd say, go with God, have a great time with that. I think it's going to be great for you, Rome. I mean, really, I think it's going to be just terrific. Good for you. So let's see here. Okay, Dawn Rosen. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Kellee. Your show is a blessing. Thank you, honey. Not sure how to word this. When shifting from the head to the heart, okay, in mediumship, can we begin to feel sorry for our struggling human self after the shift? Yes. And Dawn, that's called having compassion for what you are going through. So when I was becoming a medium, and I wasn't even conscious of it, it just started to happen. I was in a state of, I had a lot of great loss, a lot of great loss. I actually, because of I had a traumatic brain injury, I lost my sense of self. And losing your sense of self, I didn't know who I was. I knew who I was before, but I did not know who I was going forward, which is scary for an ego, very scary for an ego, losing that sense of self. I actually did my thesis on loss of sense of self. But what happened is it just came naturally. I started sobbing so hard one day of everything that had happened to me. And I realized in that, it seemed like for days I was sobbing, but in that I realized I had to have compassion for what I went through. So when I did that, and having understood the human condition and the struggle for the human self, all of that is so important to mediumship. So you can compassion for what your clients and what people are going through. I mean, when people come to see a medium, most often it's for great loss. And so to have the understanding, the wisdom, the compassion, you have to acknowledge your own self, what your own self has gone through, and have compassion for that. And therefore, what it does is it gives you compassion for everybody. Okay, so just know that. Great question, honey. Thank you for that. Hi, Tom Owen. Oh, thank you so much, honey. It was a really good day. Thanks. Hi, Linda Reynolds. You're so welcome. Okay, so Lori Stern yoga plus momfulness. Okay, Lori Stern yoga plus momfulness. I love that. Momfulness. Holiday, if you're listening, I think that's a perfect one. Momfulness. My question is, please help me with my next steps on the path for whatever clairs are meant for me and how I will know how to use them. My birthday is 5:30. So first of all, let me explain what clairs are to people. And your birthday is 5:30, so 2 of clubs. So I'm going to go through all of this. So the clairs are when you become a medium and you start the different clairs aspects start to come clear. Like there's clairaudient, so you start to hear things. Clairsentient, you start to feel things. Clairvoyant, you start to see things. And there are additional ones, but those are the big ones. And so I'm not sure which opens first for you. You might start feeling. Often it will start with, I have this intuition. I have this feeling that something's going to happen. I have this feeling that you start feeling. So that could be that clair right there, clairsentient. Also, it could be, I just heard something. What was that I heard? And James and I have talked about, is it objectively you heard it, like a voice from outside that you heard inside? Or is it a subjective voice? And that James and I talk about that a lot. And so that starts to come in, okay? And then the clairvoyant, your third eye starts to develop. And all of this comes together. So I'm not sure with you what comes first, but you are a 2 of clubs. So 2 of clubs, because your birthday is May 30th. So 2 of clubs has to overcome fear. So they come to overcome fear. And also 2 of clubs is wildly psychic. Whenever you hear me say club, there's always going to be a psychic component to it. And a 2 of clubs, once you clear the space of there's no such thing as death and not having any fear, often they're funny fears. They're fear. I mean, I shouldn't laugh at the fears, but they're like, I don't know, almost psychological fears. I'm afraid to fly, or I'm afraid to eat this, or I'm afraid of that, And once you move out of the fear phase, sky's the limit. Allow all of your clairs to open up naturally, because they do, honey, they will. So hi, Sandy Stedner. Thank you for the happy belated birthday. I appreciate that. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. So sweet. This is my fall scarf, which I love it. Hi, Beth Glonsky. Hi. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, you're so welcome. Okay, so John Hanson, 10:30. And what's your spiritual path? Great question. So your birthday is October 30th. October 30th is a 5 of hearts. I've worked with many 5 of hearts. And one thing about the October 30th that I always found was really special was that they were wildly creative. And a lot of musicians actually on that day, a lot. And John, the spiritual path for you is to experience emotions. Whenever you hear me say 5 of hearts, 4 of hearts, 3 of hearts, but particularly 5 of hearts and 3 of hearts. So Linda, I'm talking to you too. They are here to experience emotions. And a 5 of hearts all 5s almost push things to the limit. And emotions would be pushed to the limit. So the spiritual path would be, I just had this experience. And don't label it good or bad. I had this emotional experience, and it's all about emotions. So your spiritual path is about dealing with, understanding emotions, that kind of thing. And so I hope that, and helping others with it, Um, so Deborah Elling, hi Kelly, love your private nurse and Alaska cruise friend. Oh, great. I can't remember which one that is right now, Deborah, but thank you. My private nurse. Can't think of who that is right off the top of my head, but thank you. Hi, Vicky. Happy birthday, Lulu, sweetheart. Oh, thank you, Vicky. In fact, you know what, Vicky? You reminded me I'm going to do Talking to Heaven. So when people, if you've lost a loved one, let's get you a card from James's Cards, Talking to Heaven, which are great, and they come with this great book. But let's get a card for you, Vicky. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, honey. From your beloved husband, Mike. I see all of your thoughts, and happy anniversary tomorrow, honey. He sends you so much love. He loves you so much. Just remember that. Okay. Okay, here you go. Kim Ann says, I see the leaves are turning in Wisconsin already. Well, Kim Ann, funniest thing, because normally I would be like so happy in my house, having my chai tea, talking to the cows. But now I have to drive to an office in the country. But guess what? The plus is I'm getting to see the leaves change. It's beautiful. So thank you for noticing that. Okay, Audrey McElhaney. Hi, Audrey. Hi, Kelly. 611. Can you provide guidance on which career path I should take? Thanks. Happy belated birthday. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. So 611 is a 6 of diamonds. June 11th. If you were born on June 11th, it's a 6 of diamonds. 6 of diamonds is about financial responsibility. Now, having said that, that's what the soul comes in to deal with. Financial responsibility. I have seen brilliant psychologists, brilliant lawyers, brilliant doctors, brilliant creative people, sports-minded people even. It's so whatever you are leaning to, you'll have success, Audrey, because 6 of diamonds has success as long as they are watching and paying back their financial dues. It's a part of that process. The other thing with the 6 of diamonds is they have to overcome the feeling of being abandoned. And that's like a core wound in most 6 of diamonds that I've ever worked with. Okay, overcoming that. So, but as far as guidance, use your passion, honey. Whatever your passion is, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Thank you, Debbie. Denise says, happy birthday to my granddaughter, Lulu, and me. Thank you. Okay, Lori counts. Evening, everyone. Earth, Wind, and Fire. They were in Huntsville last night? Are you kidding, Lori? That's my favorite group of all time. I love it. And today's Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. Oh my gosh, so lucky. I didn't know that. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi there, everybody. Yes, it was a great gift, Lori. And Lori Young, I thank you for writing in. I have your book. I actually brought it to my new office because I know you're in that chapter and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to, because I actually took the book out and I was like, oh, I've got to read this chapter that you did. So I'm really excited. I just haven't had a chance yet. Bonnie Kepner says, hello, everyone. Yes, it's been a rough couple of days. It has been. The energies are shifting. Remember, we're going into this an equinox. So if you view the equinox as energy, and we're all energy here, and Earth is energy, it's a shift. And that's why in Vedic tradition, they believe in going inward for these days. The spring and the fall go inward. So it gives the energy of the sun enough time to come out and guide us where we need to be. Hi, Ann Margaret. How are you doing? Debbie Clooney, I love this question. She says, do you think our loved ones let us smell things that remind us of them? Oh, 100%. You betcha, Debbie. They absolutely do. And sometimes if somebody smoked, you might smell smoke. Or in my mom's case, I had the wildest experience. It was probably a year ago. And it came out of the blue. My mother used to wear Rive Gauche, the perfume Rive Gauche. It had gone out of, you couldn't buy it anywhere. I'd have to go to these perfumery places that, somehow I would find a bottle, and she loved this Rive Gauche perfume, which I loved it too. But anyway, it was big. My mother's been gone for 5 years, hard to believe. And I was in my office. Actually, it was sitting right here. This is like quite a portal I have. And all of a sudden, the Rive Gauche starts coming in. I said, "Mom," I knew immediately because I hadn't had not been out in the world, had not seen anybody, and who wears Rive Gauche anymore? You can't even find it. But it was definitely so. Yes, that happens. Or let's say your grandmother always made an apple pie, and all of a sudden you start smelling apple pie. Or let's say there was some flower that somebody loved this flower, the scent of rose, or whatever. You definitely, okay. Okay, Nikki Blevins Elliott. Nikki, let me get you a card from your beloved son, whose birthday was my day, September 20th. So Leaf, I got chills. He is around you. He's going to help you with your purpose. He says to tell you this, Mom. And it's funny because don't you live in Florida? We will be together again. So maybe make sure you go out in the water with him, because I think that's what he might want to be taking you out. But you are February 2nd. So let's talk about February 2nd, because anybody who was born, and I always say this, the first 13 days of January and the first about 10 days of February are deep dives. I mean, these are the kind of lives where you come in with, like major purpose here. I mean, no fooling around here. And then you lost a son, no fooling around. I call it being born into the deep end. And you're a 2 of spades. Boy, have I got chills. Is your son around? Woofy. You're a 10 of spades. So 10 of spades in February comes to work really hard at big ticket items. For instance, honey, you help run an organization for parents who've had loss, because I volunteer my services for you guys during the holidays. I mean, you do extraordinary work. That is big purpose. Now, being a therapist, being a spiritual therapist, anything along those lines where you're helping people, Nikki, overcome loss, because you have this strength that not everybody has, particularly with loss of a child. Okay, so don't ever forget your purpose. But that 10 of spades is everything. It gives you the strength. 10 of spades, if I said, look, there's a steel wall, I need you to walk through it, they'd go, you just walk through it. There's something about the strength of a 10 of spades. I've never seen it before. Other one that's similar to that is an 8 of spades, similar. But 10 of spades has the heart place in it, where an 8 of spades can run a business. They're CEOs. Anytime I see an 8 of spades, I go, CEO, has to be. But 10 of spades is about helping the world on a large level, which is what you're doing. Okay, keep doing it, honey. But that's why you are here to do that work. Okay, and your son's going to help you. Okay, Darlene Turner, your birthday is September 13th. September 13 is a Jack of Clubs. Excuse me, I have to, I feel a cough coming on. Hold on. What can I say? It just comes, it sneaks up on me. And I have to keep these cough drops here. Anyway, what did I say? September 13th is a Jack of Clubs. And a Jack of Clubs is somebody that is spiritual. They are very, very psychic. Very psychic. It's a very psychic time to be born during this September. And they're here about healing. Often I find them as therapists or healers or doctors or something along those lines of healing. But it's always, Darlene, it's always about remembering to take care of yourself. Put your own oxygen on first. Often they just jump in and they don't. So take care of yourself here. Debbie Clooney says, I've often felt my loved ones that have passed on. I could smell my papa's cologne. Yes. So it's not your imagination. And your birthday's 9/30. So no, it's not your imagination, honey. And you are a 7 of clubs. And I'm sorry, 7 of hearts. And 7 of hearts is all about dealing with emotions. Anytime I say heart, it's about dealing with emotion. It's using your brain and your heart at the same time. So it's not an easy placement because you have to really concentrate on both. So, but it's a wonderful one. So anyway, here we go. Christy Dixon Pride. What a great name. Hi, beautiful Kelly. Thank you. Birthday is 11/17. And I keep seeing 2222 on the clock over and over again. What does that mean? Okay. So let's talk about that. 11/17 first is a 3 of clubs. So 3 of clubs, James is a 3 of clubs, very psychic. They can do business. They very, very psychic. We call them actually the psychic writer. And often they will come with anxiety because they know internally they have to do something creative. They've got to be here to create. They've got to create something. Now, 2222, it's like that song. Remember that song? Maybe you don't remember, but in the year 2222. I know Lori Counts. I know you know that song. But 22, before we incarnated, we put certain numbers in our path that would ignite us to start remembering who we are and what we're doing. And when you see that many twos, 22, I always say, is a master number for leaving a legacy and building something. And in this case, partnership. So it could be partnership, it could be building, it could be leaving a legacy. It could, any of those thoughts. Partnership comes to mind, maybe changing the partnership or bringing a partnership in. But 22s are fierce. The number 22 is a power number. Take that and kind of see where if any of that fits in. Okay. There you go. So Valerie Smothers. Hi, Valerie. She says, you are 721. Kelly, I felt like spirits are trying to get my attention lately. Could it be my mom or others? Can you get a card? Let's get you a card from your mom. 100%. You know, James and I were talking the other day on our show that the veil is thin. Okay. If you notice about your dreams, your loved ones coming in for more of your dreams, gosh, it sure is happening a lot with me. People that I've known in the past, coming to me in my dreams and trying to get my attention. And it's fascinating right now, but it's because the veil is thinning, because I feel that the world is going through, more turmoil. And when that happens, they're like on the ready watching and helping us with energy. But yes, that would be her trying to get your attention. Absolutely. Or others. Absolutely. There is no time where I am. Time is only on earth. They love to tell this, and this is the truth. When we're here on earth, we have to go by limits. We have a body. We can't just walk through walls. Like I know we can on the other side, and I know I can when I astral project, but it's body, you can't do that. And although I just use that analogy of going through a steel door, except for you, Nikki, you could probably do it. But so because there's no time on the other side, they can come to us at any time, and because they have no time, they we might not hear from them for some period of time, and all of a sudden they come in. So yeah, they're definitely, just know that she's trying to get your attention, and you are 721, which is a 7 of clubs. So 7 of clubs they're here to overcome negativity and to take a spiritual path. Sometimes, not always, but there'll be either people in their lives that have used a lot of drugs and alcohol, or they've had a problem with drug and alcohol. And so it's really about overcoming anxiety and taking a spiritual road. So I hope that helps, Valerie. Okay. So let's see. Leanne says, February 17th, where's the best place for me to live? I have no idea, Leanne. I have no idea. But you are an 8 of diamonds, and 8 of diamonds is this, we call it the sun card. So probably a place where there's a lot of sun for your sunny disposition. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, Pat Lang. Pat Kelly, can a soul come back into the body of someone who is leaving to the other side and come back to us in that body? So can a soul come back into the body of somebody who is leaving and come back to us? That's a complicated question in the sense that I'd like to believe that everything is possible. So what you're saying is basically somebody who had a walk-in. There's a term for it, walk-in. And I think it's probably possible. but that's all I don't know. Don't have enough evidence to say 100%. But I would have to say it's probably possible. Okay, and you're 5'4", and you are two of spades, and two of spades comes to overcome fear. All twos come to overcome fear, especially two of spades. Two of spades comes partnership is really important to a two of spades, and business and creative, being real creative is also really important there. Jonald Done Pretty, and your birthday is June 1. Does my brother who passed 2 years ago have anything he wants me to know? So you are 6'1", so you got a three of spades. Well, let's get a card from your brother, okay? It's really horribly challenging to lose a sibling because you come in as a family and it's a tough one. It's a really tough one. Let's get a card from him. How could this be? I just shuffled the cards. How could I get the same card? That's funny. He tells you, yeah, he wants you to know that you'll be together again. Okay, there you go. Maybe go out in the water, go out and have some fun, play. I think I get a playful energy with him. So go out and play. Okay. Marge Webb says, the gal I get my crystals from told me that she had headaches until she got used to having her crystals all in one space. Yes. Thank you for that. It's very true. Unless you're once you it's like you have to get real grounded and kind of acclimate to the energy of it. So thank you for that. Yes. Darlene Turner says, I love my crystals. I purchased a Herkimer diamond with black tourmaline as a pendant yesterday, feeling more grounded. Boy, is that the truth? Shauna McDonald says, hitting it on the head, Kelly. Well, thank you, Shauna. I appreciate that. Shauna, are you the Shauna of the crystal shop? Let me know. I think so. Is that your last name? I always forget, but I think it might be you. Yes, crystals definitely help with healing. Okay, so Lori Sherbrooke says, and your birthday is July 29. So July 29 is a Queen of Hearts. So Queen of Hearts is somebody that I worked with a lot of Queen of Hearts today. It's so funny. Queen of Hearts are about emotions and motherhood or families or taking care of loved ones. Do I have any messages for you? So she said, I'm what are changing, feeling very lonely right now. Okay. I'm an empath, and some of James's classes follow, and I follow both of you all the time. Yes, however, as a healer, I'm feeling very disconnected from my own adult grown children. Please, do you have to have your own life, but we live in the same town, and I never hear from them unless they need a babysitter, and I have my boundaries. However, not dating after a divorce, and I'm 60 years old, and all I do is work. Okay. Well, first of all, Lori, definitely have your own life. Adult children, set your boundaries because, again, Queen of Hearts does come in, can have mother issues, definitely. Children do come in to have their own life path, and set your boundaries. Really set them well and tell them, oh, you only need me when you need a babysitter. Really, start having dialogues with them. Okay. And if don't want to date after you've been divorced and all you do is work, what would you like to do? Would you like to develop into something, to go down the spiritual road? I mean, if you're an empath, it would be, and you've taken a lot of the classes, that would be a great thing, honey. Because again, 729 Queen of Hearts, it'd be a great thing for you to start really diving into who you are as a spiritualist and really learning everything you can. There you go. And Margaret says, in Seattle, post-Alaska cruise, because she went on the cruise with us, as she hit up a crystal store. She said, wild how selenite, the corner selenite, moved in circles when I was near it, but felt great being there. I had a hard time leaving it. I love selenite, and selenite is wonderful for meditation. I have a big piece where those beautiful flowers are. If you could see, let me see, on this side, I have flowers. There you go. That's a big piece of selenite underneath that. And when August, my grandson, who's 6, I taught him all about crystals. And I always say, August, what's selenite for? And he always goes, crystals, Gigi, but for meditation. He's so funny. So selenite towers. Oh, Nikki says you have selenite towers and wands placed strategically around your house. And you keep a crystal grid on your dining table. Always great. Oh my God. Okay, Shauna, I thought that was you, Shauna. If you guys want crystals, Shauna has a store in Burbank, California, and she does this amazing thing. Let's say you don't live in Burbank, California. You can go online, you can call her, and she'll give you the number. You FaceTime with her. She'll help you and get the crystals that you want around as you're looking at the crystals in her shop. She's got the most amazing shop. And I know, Shauna, you just lost your father, and I'm sorry that that happened. I've got chills. He's definitely around you. Around you. These are hard energies, and you're feeling it hard today. And these are tough times. These are hard energies, and these are designed to help us through, to help us our soul grow and learn. But when you've had great loss, when you lose a parent, it makes things, our life that we thought we had has changed, and the energies right now are of great change. Remember that book, Who Moved My Cheese? It was a book. It's a great title, written about business change, but you can use it for anything. All of a sudden, a piece of a stability is gone. In my case, that we're tearing down the house, and I'm going to an office, and all these different changes. These are big changes. So take really good care of yourself, honey. You're such a good person. And it's called the Crystal Shrine in Burbank, California. Okay. Carla Zobi, she said, I was visiting a prison in New Mexico, and I went through the mountains in the desert. Look what I was doing, and I was so affected. I was seeing apparitions in the desert. Wow, Carla, that's amazing. I don't know what to say, but that's amazing. I mean, that area is I know New Mexico very well. My family lives in Taos, and I've had many spiritual experiences in that area. So that does not surprise me. Okay. Joni Dwayne Gibson, she said, I keep having dreams of a raging fire out west, and I can feel the ground shifting beneath my feet. Interesting. Well, that, if as a premonition, it could be earthquake and fire, because just could be shifting, ground shifting, and fire out west. And with these Gandanta points that come in, that is all possible. Earthquakes, fires for sure. So Joni, keep a journal of it. That's a good one. Pat Lang says, how do you harmonize your soul? So I think what you mean by harmonize my soul is, how do I, stay in a harmonic fashion? Well, I remind myself on a moment-to-moment basis, I'm a soul having a human experience. I have a lot of compassion for everybody, including myself. And I see beauty everywhere I go. And even in the midst of chaos, because I got it here, chaos beyond, and it's just begun. I have to laugh a lot. The Ascended Masters have always taught about laughing a lot in the situations that we have. And I do. I laugh a lot. I have tremendous compassion for what people are going through. And by the way, I'm lucky enough to sit and have a position where I'm listening to a lot of stories. And some of these stories are pretty radical. The stories I hear, I think, my God, how do they do it? So there you go. Okay. And then Nikki Miller says, I found that wearing an angelite crystal is too much. It might be the energy from it was overwhelming. You had to take it off. I get it. Pay attention for that. Okay. Because I think that is good. Don DeGroat says, I just started a new job, and those 3 days are my first day scheduled. Now what to do? Help. Okay, Don. It's kind of like me. All of a sudden, just do this, Don. Get really grounded and say, whoa, we're going to move through this. So the first 3 days may be a little unsettling. Just allow it. Just tell yourself, and I promise it will get better 3 days after that. It's nerve-wracking enough starting a new job, but starting one in this energy, you got to laugh about it, because that's what I did. Again, I literally did this. I started everything. So don't worry about it. It'll be just fine, honey. Okay, it'll just be fine. And I really appreciate everybody, and I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Have a great week. Remember, go inward, do your thing inward. Okay, just go inward. Unless you're starting a new job, then just go for it. Okay. So, all right, everybody, take care, my friends, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us on Ask Me Anything. We hope our discussions with Kellee White and James Van Praagh have enriched your spiritual understanding and personal growth. From recognizing spiritual elements in children to understanding the subtle energies of crystals, each episode is a treasure trove of wisdom. Missed a live session on Facebook or YouTube? Don't worry. You can always find the latest episodes on your favorite podcast app. Remember, your queries form the heart of our show, so keep those questions coming for the next episode. Before we close, make sure you've subscribed to join us on this enlightening journey. Until next time, continue to question, explore, and grow. The universe is full of answers awaiting your curiosity.